making a nice, simple to make omelette. It's going to be a courgette omelette. Now this courgette omelette only takes about 15 minutes from start to finish, so no time at all. Great for sort of a lunchtime snack when you haven't got much time, or you know, if you want a very light evening meal, have a bit of salad, lovely. Now to make this omelette, I've actually got 2 courgettes there, so about as big as my hand, 2 courgettes. What we're going to do is to peel those down just with, you know, what you would like your potatoes, and I'm going to use 3 eggs. But if you just wanted to use 1 courgette, you know, you could use 2 small eggs or 1 large egg, you know, so, but I'm going to make a slightly bigger one so it's enough for 2 people. Now I'm going to serve the omelette up with just a little bit of lettuce and tomato, and you know, just do a light little salad, a little bit of olive oil, balsamic vinegar and a little bit of salt. So nice combination to go with there, and just a little bit of bread. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take the eggs away, and we're actually going to get on with the courgette. We're just going to peel those and then slice them down. So I'll just move one out of the way. Really easy to do, just go along like this really. Go all the way around. Really nice and easy sort of to remove the skin. And then you can just do that. Chop a little bit off the end maybe. There you go. Whoops, all done. So I'll just clear that mess, do the other one, and then we'll slice them down. So I've got the courgettes and I've peeled them up. Now I'm just going to take the ends off of these, just like that. Take those away, don't want them bits. And then what I'm going to do is just really kind of slice these down. Now when you slice your courgettes, just if you can, try and get them so they're the same sort of thickness. It's not crucial, but just helps when they're cooking really, to cook kind of evenly. So they're all done. Now what I'm going to do is to actually beat the eggs. So put me 3 eggs in a bowl and just sort of beat it up, you know, try and mix it up, put a little bit of salt in the egg. So I'm just going to crack me 3 eggs. You can just use a knife, just break it apart. Try not to get any shell in there. So I'll just do that with all 3 of them. There you go. A little bit of salt, and then we're just going to whisk it up, sort of beat it up, either with a fork or I've got a little hand whisk, so I'm going to use that. So just put a little bit of salt in there. It's always good. So I've got a little hand whisk. Find it quite useful. Just break the eggs a little bit. If you haven't got that, just use a fork. I'd say just whisk it really for, you know, 30 seconds, minute. Just try and make sure it's all mixed up nicely. So I've finished whisking the eggs. That's all done. So just for about a minute, that's fine. So now I've finished preparing it, I'm just going to get on and cook it. So we're going to get on with the cooking then. Now I'm just going to put my pan, I'd say on a sort of medium heat. We're just going to try and brown these off very slightly and soften them up. Now I'm going to put some oil in my pan. This is olive oil that I've used previously for a Spanish omelette that I've sort of made. So I've kept the oil because it's great. Now I'm also going to add a little bit more to that, because I do want to make sure there's enough to cover all of these courgettes. But again, once you finish using that oil, there's no reason you can't keep it, use it again. I mean, if I've got oil and it's, you know, with meat or something like that, I don't tend to keep it, but when it's been cooking up vegetables, absolutely fine. So I've got the pan on a sort of medium heat, and I've got some olive oil, but if you haven't got olive oil, use sunflower oil. So I'm going to start putting the courgettes in there. Pop them in, spread them out, and we're going to turn them over a few times, try and build up a bit of colour. So I'll just keep doing that until we've got them all in the pan. So I've got all the courgettes in the pan, and what I'm going to do is give them a rinse around, get that oil on everything really. Just try and stir them around, get a nice sort of colour on the outside, maybe a little bit golden brown, and wait until they're nice and soft. I reckon probably about 10 minutes. So we just turn those over now and again until you get a really nice colour. So I've finished cooking mine. I've been cooking for just about 10 minutes. Now what we're going to do is to transfer those. I'm actually going to use a little bowl with some tissue on. So we're going to take those off, and I'm going to try and get as much oil out as possible. So what I'm going to do is, shouldn't really do it because it's hot, but I'm just going to put it there so that you can see the pan shot really. And when you scoop it, just try and leave the oil behind. But the little bit of tissue will just absorb a bit of that. Just keeps it healthy. You haven't got to do this. I mean, you know, some people are very careful and just pour it straight in the egg. But I think it just gets a little bit of the oil. That's it. Look at that. And you've got a nice clean oil. So you can use that for something else. Maybe some chips, or you might want one of these tomorrow. They're so nice. So just move those out of the way. Look nice already. Now, I'll just show you. I mean, if you want to keep your oil, just get a bowl there. Just tip that in. So I'll just put that aside and I'll use that another day. Now what I'm now going to do is just put that sort of beaten egg we've got all prepared. And then I've got all those sort of courgettes that we just fried up, softened them. Oh, they're lovely. And just mix those in. Oh. Just give them a very light kind of mixing. Like that. And what we're now going to do is to actually heat the frying pan up, put them in, fry them up. And really, these only take probably about 5 minutes. Really easy. So let's get on with it. Now I'm just going to switch the heat on. Hasn't got to be very high. If anything, fairly low. Because what you want to do is just make sure the underneath of the egg gets set. And then we're going to flip it over. So I'll just let that warm up a little bit. And then we're going to pour the egg in there. So it's just warmed up a little bit. So I'm just now going to pour that egg in there. And again, just kind of spread it all out. Do it on a fairly lowish heat, not too high, because obviously, you know, it gives you a bit more time to sort of spread this out really. And what you can do is just pick the pan up, swish it around. It just kind of gets it a little bit more even as well. Squash those down into the egg so they get nice and embedded. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So I'll just leave that. I mean, as it's going white around the edges, that means it's kind of, you know, is setting. So as I say, not too high, keep low heat and just let it gently kind of go white as much as possible. And then we're going to put the plate over the top and flip it over. Now what you can do, just go around the edges there, tip it there, just to build the thickness up around the edge. Just get a bit of that stuff on there, the old egg. And also it speeds it up slightly. Now it's just starting to set here and there and sort of around the edge. Now it's a good time. Turn the heat low, make sure it's low. Pop that on. Now what we're going to do is to flip it over. So just hold the pan, palm of your hand, however you can, and then just flip that over like so. And put the pan back. Just carefully pop that in. Now you shouldn't really need to cook this any time at all now. In fact, I'm actually going to turn the heat off and just let it cool down. Give it a minute, maybe 2 at the most. Serve it up. Now whilst we're waiting for that, you know, and the heat's off, I'm just going to quickly go and get on with the salad. So we're going to quickly get on with the actual salad. Now I've already got my salad all prepared. It was one of these just washed and sort of chopped up a little bit. So I'm going to nick a couple of tomatoes off there, slice them down, add there, little bit of olive oil, balsamic vinegar, a little bit of salt. Mix it up, ready to go. Serve up the omelette, delicious. If you want to just do your tomatoes, just cut them like that. Cut them in half. Cut them in these sort of like little triangles, go all the way around. Mind your fingers. Or you can slice them up so they're nice and sort of flat. Looks quite nice and presentable. So I'll just do that. One more tomato. Then we're just going to pour a little bit of olive oil. It's got a really nice flavour, olive oil. So I use it these days a lot more for cooking. And again, got some balsamic vinegar. Just a little bit on there. Especially good on lettuce. And with the salt, put a little bit of salt. Give that a quick stir over, stir around. and you've got a really quick, simple salad that tastes yummy. And we're going to serve that up, a little bit of bread, and obviously the main thing, which is going to be the courgette omelette. So I'm just going to serve it up. Let's just move those bits and pieces out of the way. So I'm just going to put a plate there really. Just tip that on. Look at that. Looks good. Looks good. So I'm just going to cut that in half. And we're going to serve it up on the plate there. Look at that. Just cut it in half. Lovely. Serve that up, a little bit of salad, a little bit of bread. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that salad. Quite a lot actually, because it's nice to have a bit of salad with the omelette. So I'm just going to serve that up, a couple of bits of bread. Let's just try that omelette. Let me try that. Let me try. Really nice. I love this omelette. So good. And you can pop it on a little bit of bread. You can have it like a little bit together. Oh, it's lovely. Slightly sweet. Beautiful though. Really simple. And having the courgettes in there means there's a little bit more filling, because sometimes like having a French omelette, you know, there's not very much inside and it doesn't really fill you up, but this is really nice, adds to it, it's a lovely flavour, and obviously you've got that beautiful salad to go with it. Hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching as always.